You see this stack of books? Let me tell you something. This one, Flow, Inheritance, Crossing the Chasm. Let me tell you something about making money and more importantly about life in general. It's all about the fundamentals. Everybody gets real fancy. I had somebody visiting me for a few days that wanted to make a lot of money, trying to make a lot of money in business. And I said, it ain't gonna happen. Not in your current state because you don't understand the fundamentals. It's just like in sports. You want to be good at basketball, you got to be good at the fundamentals. Michael Jordan was fundamentally sound. Wasn't as fancy as you think. Was fancy at times, but here's the deal. You want to make money? Learn how to close deals. Learn how to communicate with people. Public speaking. Remember that thing that most people faint about? Most people, they say fear more than cancer. I read that the average person fears sharks, cancer, public speaking. Never let that be you. Because to be fundamentally sound in this world is to be able to communicate. You're not going to get a good job. You're not going to start your own company. You're not going to close deals. You're not going to get sales. You're not going to build passive income. You're not going to build multiple streams of cash flow if you don't have that fundamental. Build companies that are fundamentally sound. Build a career that's fundamentally sound. People run after this. That's why I tell people, learn to sell online because it's fundamentally sound. For the next 50 years or as long as we can foresee into the future, people are going to be buying online. So you might want to learn how to do that. You know, build a funnel, build a website, build a compelling offer, build an email list, build a content marketing strategy, build social media, build a following, follow the 3 T's, teach, tailor, take control, understand authority, understand psychology. Why do I read books? To become more fundamentally sound, not to become fancier. And we live in a world of ever-increasing confusion about what it takes. When I was broke, when you're broke, it always comes down to one thing. You suck at the fundamentals. That's all. People are waiting. People are waiting for the economy to turn around. People are waiting for presidents. People are pointing to economic structures. I got in an argument with somebody who is a socialist living in England. I said, socialism is not fundamentally sound. The ironic thing is she lives now in Costa Rica because she can't afford to live in London. I said, fundamentally, when you tax people, you just redistribute money. You don't create new money. Government doesn't create new ideas. It doesn't create wealth. That's created by the individual or by groups of individuals coming together privately. So yeah, you can tax people and redistribute money, but it doesn't fundamentally change the nature of the world, the nature of your country. People say, what about Sweden, Tai? Well, I used to live in Sweden. Sweden's fundamentally sound. That's why it's wealthy. It's not because it's socialist. It's a very capitalistic place. Sweden has a lot of natural resources, has an educated population. It's fundamentally sound. Forget taxes, forget politics, but I'm telling you this, another fundamental is understanding that there is only one thing that raises you out of your current situation, and that's creativity. And how do I define creativity? I define it very simply, by going to the opposite. If you want to know what something is, first define what it isn't. What creativity isn't is banging your head on the wall doing the same things. And I've seen the smartest, wealthiest, most quote-unquote successful entrepreneurs doing the same thing over and over. In fact, when I look at my life, what would I do differently? I would pivot faster. Now, I know there's a danger of pivoting too much and giving up too early, but trust me, the state of the human mind is one that gravitates much more towards the stubborn end of the spectrum. See, to me, the opposite of creativity is not lack of creativity. To me, the opposite of creativity is stubbornness. Falling in love with your idea, falling in love with your daily routine, falling in love with what's been working somewhat well for you. That's not fundamentally sound. Fundamentally sound is going, I understand the sunk cost fallacy. The sunk cost fallacy says that just because you've been doing something and you have a lot invested in it, if it's not the right thing to do, if it's not fundamentally sound, stop doing it. Stop. It's not enough to add new things to your life. You have to stop doing something, and that's the hardest part. And people marry people. People get in business partnership. People launch businesses, and it becomes apparent that it was the wrong choice, yet they won't change, because to change would be to lose face. It would be to have to admit that you were on the wrong path. So instead, people stay on the fundamentally unsound path forever. Doesn't work. It doesn't work. Fundamentally, if something's wrong, it should be stopped immediately, even if you have $1 million invested in it. Even if you have 10 years of your life invested in it, it shouldn't be feared. You should only fear one thing if your thinking's fundamentally sound. Fear one thing: to live a crappy life. Fear that. Don't fear anything else. Don't fear the embarrassment of trying public speaking and people laughing at you. Don't fear the embarrassment of giving up on something and other people saying, oh, you said you were so confident what you're doing, didn't work out for you. Don't fear that. Fear living a crappy life. That's it. And at the fundamentals, and why I rail against the modern school system and society in general, is because people don't keep that in mind. The only reason you should get an education, the only reason you should go to college or not go to college, the only reason you should start a business, the only reason you should work out, the only reason you should eat healthy, the only reason you should read, the only reason you should be watching this video is because at the fundamentals of what life's about is not living a crappy life. It's about living the good life. And that's it. And that's all that matters. If living the good life didn't entail me reading this book, do you think I would read books? If part of living the good life didn't have me recording this video, do you think I would be recording this video? For some reason, this video's in my destiny. For some reason, I'm recording this because at this current time, it feels like and seems logical that this is moving me towards a good life. But make no mistake, I'd delete all my social media in a heartbeat if I discovered it wasn't fundamentally sound, getting me towards that one fundamental goal, which is to be happy and live the good life. That's it. So keep that in mind. Stop fearing the things that are minor. What do they say? People major in minors and minor in majors. There's only one major. Enjoy your life. Live the good life. Be happy. Don't be stressed out too much. Surround yourself with an amazing social circle. Have excess money in the bank account so you can save. Maybe you won't be the wealthiest person in the world, but sure don't want to be the poorest person in the world. You know? You don't necessarily have to be the most fit person in the world to live the good life. But you better get in the gym. You better watch what you eat. And that's the only thing that matters. And those are the subjects that aren't really taught in school. Math is good, but it's not that important when it comes to the good life. It's a minor part. Grammar is not that important in living the good life. What other people think may or may not be. I hope your life becomes fundamentally sound, my friend. Good night.